Hello children, welcome to AIMS India online classes. This is a chemistry session. Here we are going to discuss about water. In this session, let us see about the three different states of water. So we know water is an essential substance that is important to all living beings, isn't it? Yes, all the living beings they need water for their survival. It is the most abundant substance on the planet Earth. Yes, not only important, it is the most abundant substance on the planet Earth. Around 70% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, as we know, isn't it? So, water is a colorless, odorless, and tasteless liquid that covers over 70% of the Earth's surface. As we know, most of the Earth's surface is covered with water in the form of oceans, rivers, lakes, isn't it? So it is present in rain, clouds, and even in the seas and oceans. Water is not only all around us, but it is inside us also as well. Do you know that? Yes, water is present in our body also, inside our body also. The polar regions and the peaks of high mountains are covered with snow and ice. So in this way, water is spread over on the planet Earth in different forms, in the seas and oceans, and in the on mountain peaks like snow and ice, and even in the living beings. It is present inside of living beings also. Okay. Now let us see what is the importance of this water. Next to air, water is the most important substance for our survival. We know as air is very important and it is very essential for the survival of living beings. We cannot be alive without air even for few seconds also, isn't it? So next to air, water is the most important substance for the survival of these living beings. We cannot be survived even for few days also without water. And roughly around three-fourths of the Earth's surface is covered with water. See here, the globe is shown. This total blue part, which is shown on the globes, is water. The presence of water is shown in the blue color. Okay, this is around 70% of the Earth's surface. Three-fourths of the Earth's surface is covered with water. It is a major constraint of all living matter, like human beings, plants, animals. They all contain major constraint of water. Most foods contain a large percentage of water. Yes, see here some food items like vegetables and fruits are shown. We observe the water percentage in them. It is a large quantity, large percentage, isn't it? Like fruits like watermelon, cucumber, oranges, these all contain large quantity of water in those. We cannot imagine these foods without water, isn't it? So they have large quantities of water in them. We cannot imagine these without water. On an average, the human body contains almost 70% of water. See, not only fruits and vegetables, even our human body also contains around 70% water. And if you take the brain of human beings, it is around 85% water. It contains around 85% water. We take the total weight of the brain. In that weight, 85% weight is because of the presence of water in that. So in this way, each cell in our body depends on water for normal functioning. So in our body and even all the living beings, the cells completely they depend upon the water for their regular functioning. We say that is metabolic functions in the living beings. These are completely depending on the water. So in this way, water is very essential for human beings as well as all the remaining living beings. Water is very important for the plants and animal cells. So they cannot function without water and will die without of it. Yes, without water they cannot be survived. They can do their functions only in the presence of water. So water plays an important role in various life processes. Now let us see here some of those life processes where water is playing an important role. Water plays an important role in all human life processes such as digestion, transportation, and even excretion. In these all metabolic processes, water plays an important role. Water also provides an atmosphere for organisms to be survived. For example, aquatic plants and animals use oxygen dissolved in water for their breathing. Do you know what are aquatic plants mean? Aquatic plants means the plants which live inside the water. In the same way, the animals which live inside the water are called aquatic animals. So they won't come out for their breathing. So how do they breathe then? They breathe the oxygen gas which is dissolved inside the water. So in this way, water is creating an atmosphere for these aquatic plants and animals. By that, these are able to survive. What is water doing here? Water is dissolving oxygen gas some quantity into it. That oxygen gas is being helpful for the breathing of these plants and animals which are inside the water. Okay. Fruits and vegetables consumed by humans and animals meet a part of their daily requirement of water. So, as we know, these fruits and vegetables they contain large quantity of water. When these are consumed by these humans and animals, so they provide required water for these metabolic daily requirement. Okay. Next, if you see some vegetables like tomatoes, they contain around 95% of water in them. And if it is potato, it contains around 80% water. Oranges contain around 85% of water in it. And eggs contain 73% water. And if you see bread, which we eat, so that contains around 30% water in it. So in this way, all the food items they contain large quantities of water in those. So being a good solvent, water finds varied applications in various industries such as mining, manufacturing beverages, etc. So in these all industries, they use a large quantity of water because water acts as a good solvent. What does it mean good solvent? Water can dissolve many substances into it fairly. Those substances which can dissolve other substances into it are generally called solvents. So as water has this behavior, this property that which can it can dissolve many substances into it. Because of this property, it is called a good solvent. That's why it is used in various industries like mining and manufacturing beverages and dissolve. Okay, water is essential for cooking, bathing, washing, cleaning, and even in agriculture. So here we have shown a figure. Observe that once. This figure showing the various usages of water for various purposes. If you observe here, the large quantity of water is being used in agricultural purposes. Around 65% of water available for us is utilized for agricultural works, and around 25% of the fresh water available is used for industrial works, as I told now, and only 10% of the fresh water is used in domestic works like drinking, bathing, cleaning, and cooking. And for these all domestic works, only 10% of fresh water is used. So, large quantity of fresh water available on the earth surface is utilized for agricultural purposes. and then remaining 25% is utilized for industrial works. Okay, and rivers and seas serve as modes of transport for us. We know these are ships, boats, and these all move on water. So in this way, the water is also used in transport purpose. Not only that, water sports like swimming, boating, and surfing, these are different forms of recreation. In that way also water is used, isn't it? Now, water is used in generation of electricity also. We call that hydroelectricity at different areas. We might have known water electricity is produced. Electricity is produced from water at different bridges, at dams. So there they produce electricity from water, which is called as hydroelectricity. So in that way also water is used for the production of electricity. So the importance of water in plant life, not only for the human beings, even for the plants also, water is very important. How it is, let us see here. Green plants are the primary food product producers, isn't it? Almost all the animals they depend on plants as they are primary food product producers. These plants feed the animal population directly or indirectly because some animals they take these plants as their food, and some other animals they take these animals as their food. In this way, so the plants are feeding the animals directly or indirectly. So these plants they need water for their production. So the plants these need water for producing food. Water helps in the germination of seeds and the growth of plants. Water is very important for the germination of seeds and then the growth of plants. Green plants prepare their food by process known as photosynthesis. I think you heard this name, photosynthesis. This is a process by which plants they can prepare their food. What they do there, they combine water and carbon dioxide in the presence of sunlight to form carbohydrates like glucose, which we call as food for the plants. So how they are preparing? See here, they're taking water from the roots and they're taking carbon dioxide from the air through their leaves. So these water and carbon dioxide they combine the leaves in the presence of sunlight. So there they prepare their food in the form of carbohydrates like glucose. This total process by which they prepare their food by taking carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight is called photosynthesis. Okay, so in this photosynthesis process, water is used by plants for the production of their food. Water dissolves the nutrients in soil and fertilizes for easy absorption by plants. Yes, water dissolves these nutrients and fertilizers so that plants can absorb them easily. So, in this way, water acting as a medium, a solvent for the plants to take these nutrients and fertilizers into them. Water provides a good medium for the transport of minerals and food within the plant. Yes, as a medium, it is working. Now, let us see the different states of water. Water occurs in nature in three different states. As you know, they are solids, solid, liquid, and gas. In these three states, water occurs in the nature. Below 0 degrees Celsius, water exists in solid state, which we call as ice. And even snow and frost are also natural solid forms of water. Generally, we see ice. In some places, at cold places, we see snow and frost also. These two are also natural solid forms of water. And at higher altitudes and cold regions like the poles, water exists as ice, because in these higher altitudes and cold regions, the temperature will be below 0 degrees Celsius. So at these temperatures below 0 degrees Celsius, water will be converted into solid form that we call as ice. Between 0 degrees Celsius and 100 degrees Celsius, water exists as liquid, which we see generally. And above 100 degrees Celsius, water converts into gaseous form, which we call as water vapor. So in this way, water exists in three different states: solid, liquid and gas. Below 0 degrees Celsius, water will be in the solid form, which we call as generally ice. And in between 0 degrees and 100 degrees Celsius, water exists in the liquid form. And above 100 degrees Celsius, it exists in the gaseous state, which we call as water vapor. Now let us say about the solid state of water. A large amount of fresh water is found in the form of ice or snow. Vast regions of Antarctica and Arctic Circle have frozen water, because in those areas the temperatures will be very low. They will be even in minus degree Celsius. So at those temperatures, water will be in the solid form as snow or ice. And even high peaks of mountains where continuous snow occurs have chilled water. Chilled water in the sense in the form of ice. Not only ice, frost, hailstones, etc. are also other forms of frozen water. These all are the solid states of water. What are those? Ice, frost, hailstones, etc. These all are solid states of water. These exist below 0 degrees Celsius. Okay. Next, liquid state of water. Most of the water is present in oceans, as we know. Okay, on the earth surface around 70% of the earth surface is covered with water, we have seen just now. Out of this, around 97% of water is present in the oceans and seas only. On the land, water is found in streams, lakes, springs, rivers, ponds, etc. In this all, water is present. These all are present on the surface of the earth. The water found on the land is commonly called as groundwater or surface water. Okay, so these all are this water is existing in the liquid state. The temperature is in between 0 and 100 degrees Celsius. So dew is also a liquid form of water. Dew in the sense, in the winter mornings we can see the objects outside the home. There will be small droplets of water on their surface. So that is because of the condensation of water vapor present in the atmosphere. Those droplets are called dew. That is also liquid form of water. Okay. Next, the gaseous state of water mostly occurs as water vapor. Means at higher temperatures, water exists in the gaseous state. Even at normal temperatures also, small quantity of water will be converting into gaseous form. That we say as vaporization. So by the process of vaporization, water converts into gaseous form. Again, on reverse to that, on condensation, this water vapor changes to clouds, mist, fog, etc. So we have to note one point here. That is, water is the only substance that exists naturally in all three states of matter. Isn't it? It's an interesting point about water here. And naturally, we see ice cubes, ice, even liquid water, and even gaseous water vapor also naturally. This is the only substance which exists naturally in all three forms. Okay? Okay, chalo. Thank you. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our YouTube channel AIMS Today for latest updates on recorded videos.